This is Ebony Man 2K, aka that Jolly Rancher, aka Pretty Ricky, what they call me, aka the King of Receipts. Before we go any further, I need for you to put your screen on full view. Please put your screen on full view. Okay, you're looking good, so you must be having a good day. Shout out to the Viper Pit over at STL's, Bomb Cherry, Warren, and Denides. Peace to the chat members over at Kels and TMR Talks. And I can't forget about getting into it with Goddess and Tracy with the T. I'd like to thank you for sharing your time with me today. Shout out to all my chat room members and listeners who might be listening in your car, in your kitchen cooking, working out, or just listening while you work. Your time is greatly appreciated. Make sure you thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and set it to all. Again, I thank you and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Peace. This is Ebony Man 2K, the king of receipts. And when I say I got them receipts, damn it, I got them today. I got them today. I'm going to need for you to put your screen on full view. Please put your screen on full view. And you can see SONCERAE flossing. Like she got a pretty round booty, right? Okay. Well, we shutting that down today, people. We shutting it down today. Do y'all see this Photoshop mess, y'all? Do you see it? In this Photoshop photo, she has inserted her face, reduced her waist, exaggerated her back arc, and enlarged her butt. This bitch out here looking like a ratchet alien, yo. If you look at her OnlyFans photo closely, you would notice SONCERAE's measurements are 36, 4, 36. What a losing hand. Because she's a fake house. And SONCERAE, I'm going to prove it today. First, we're going to listen to an oldie but goodie of her talking about her past ratchet ways. You can see on the screen she even mentioned these stories to Gary Coleman by saying, just because I participate in hoe activities, that does not necessarily mean I'm a hoe. Well, Gary Coleman looked at her sideways and said, what you talking about, Ray? What you talking about, Ray? Oh boy. After we listen to Ray speak about halfway hoeing, I will reveal to you Ray's real ass, which is really just a back with a crack in it, y'all. Her ass crack is longer than church on Easter Sunday, and also Interstate 10 from Cali to Florida. Just wait, you'll see. Yeah, you'll see. I will close this premiere with a personal music video to promote my story times with Ebony Man 2K. You don't want to miss that. Look, man, I will be in the chat room if you have any questions or you just want to chop it up. This is your boy, Ebony Man 2K. Let's get it.
A lot of times they don't have mothers, they don't have mentors, they don't have people that, are in their lives that's doing something positive. I literally had one girl tell me at a photo shoot we were doing that her mother told her if she don't know how to sell her pussy, she don't know how to be a real woman. Okay, this is the type of stuff that you're dealing with when you're dealing with prostitutes. Prostitutes are not just some ugly, nasty, dirty ass person who's low in life. No, a lot of these women were taught to be prostitutes, or a lot of these women were in sex trafficking and then got out. A lot of these women was walking around in the streets as teenagers because they ain't had nobody and they ran into a pimp and that pimp changed their life. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't look at women who, excuse me, I don't look at women who participated in prostitution or, did something like that with their lives. Maybe they decided to do porn and don't look at them as like a bad person, because I've talked to enough of them to know that a lot of times they're doing this stuff because they don't feel like they can do anything else. They don't know what else to do. They're uneducated, or they've been doing it since they was young. You never know. So I try not to judge anybody. I don't judge anybody because I know the stuff that I've been through as a girl. I was sexually assaulted. I was molested. So there are things that I have been through and choices that I've made that I'm not necessarily proud of, and mistakes that I have made, right? That it puts me in a position to not be able to judge anybody about nothing. What I don't like is when I see other women who have participated inside of the sex industry, or women who have done webcam work or some kind of adult industry, something, who judge other women by calling them hoes and sluts and stuff like that. I don't like women who are like that. I'll definitely come for those chicks' throats, because you're in no position to be judging anybody about anything when you have participated in the sex industry. I can't stand when I see somebody, some woman, who's been in the sex industry herself, but going around calling some other woman a hoe. That don't make sense. You're in the sex industry. So anyway, so when I talk about being a madam, or when I talk about my sexuality, where I talked about I had a part of my life I was into bisexuality, right? And of course, this was a time where I was, trying to explore, trying to figure out what I wanted, trying to figure out, what was my sexuality? What was I? What did I want inside of a relationship? Did I even want to be a wife? Okay, did I even want to be with a man? And when I decided to start doing threesomes and I entered inside of the swingers lifestyle, I really just tried some stuff to see if I liked it. A lot of it I didn't like. A lot of it I just didn't like. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to be doing this. This is not going to be something that I'm going to add to the rest of my life. And this was many years ago. This was like 2009, 2010, something like that. Okay? And when I decided to no longer, be inside of the sex industry, when I decided to no longer be a madam, when I decided to no longer, model and stuff like that, I decided I wanted to get back to being spiritual, Like, a lot of people don't know, or maybe a lot of people do know, I used to minister. I started ministering when I was like 15. And when I came to Atlanta, a lot of things changed for me there. I didn't have the same support system. My church wasn't there. I was dealing with a lot. I kept going to different churches, trying to find a church home, and I couldn't find it because it never felt comfortable. Atlanta never felt comfortable to me. I always felt out of place. I never liked it there. I never liked how people treated each other. I never liked how disrespectful people were. I just didn't like it. And coming there from Washington, D.C., I had a different perspective as far as life goes. And it just seemed like people in Atlanta were not, the way that they did things, it just wasn't right to me. And so I never felt comfortable there. But after I decided to, explore my sexuality, try to figure out who I was, and then I decided I wanted to work on my spirit more and not be in relationships and be celibate, it made sense, because before that, I had threesomes, and I, had been in the swingers lifestyle, seeing people having sex with each other, and, experiencing my situation with Chris Law, whom I thought I had at least a solid friendship with. Like, he and I was never in a relationship, but I did feel like we had a solid friendship with each other, because I never judged him for introducing me to the swingers lifestyle. Just like I had never judged prostitutes or porn stars, because they had been around me. So I knew what kind of lifestyle they had. I knew what kind of issues they had. I've never been a judgmental person to begin with. Like, of course, I've said this before. You can judge people, just don't misjudge. So I've never been the type of person to misjudge someone. So when I met Chris Law, my ass was like, I'm not about to sit here and judge this man for introducing me to the lifestyle. That's his sexuality. That's what he want to do with his life. He promiscuous. He likes to have multiple sex partners. There's nothing wrong with that if you're true to who you are and that's what you want. If you're just trying something to see if that's what you want, that's a whole nother thing. But if this is a consistent behavior in your life, I'm not going to judge you for that. And with Chris, being a swinger was something that he had consistently done over and over and over and over again. This was something that people in Atlanta, let me tell you something about swinging and swinging in Atlanta. Atlanta is one of those places where people had been doing orgies and stuff like that since they were in middle school. They used to throw parties, like little swinging and fucking each other and running trains on girls. They used to throw parties like this all the time, even when they were like in high school. And it took like somebody who had been in Atlanta for a long time to mention to me that in Atlanta, that's what they had been doing. I didn't know anything about swinging until I moved to Atlanta. I didn't even know that it was such a thing. You know, I just had no idea. And so before I met Chris Law, I had no idea what swinging was. All right, I had never heard of it. I had never had a threesome. I had never had an orgy. I had never done any of that. I didn't know what it was. So after dealing with a lot of Atlanta people and having conversations about the lifestyle and having, just sit down and just talk with people. Most of the people who lived in Atlanta and participate in swinging and stuff like that, they've been doing it since high school. They've been doing it most of their life. So it was Chris's habit to be a part of the lifestyle. I don't know if he did it when he was in high school, but I do know when I met him, he had been doing it for years. It wasn't something new to him. So I wasn't about to sit here and judge this man for his choices in his life. He wasn't my husband. He wasn't somebody I was going to be in a relationship with. He was someone that I was just going to be friends with, pass time with, until I got over my own shit and moved on. I thought we had at least a little bit of respect for each other to, keep whatever it is that we were doing between each other. But I didn't realize until after things were over between us that Chris ran his mouth a lot. He was walking around Atlanta talking about our experience, and had I known he was going to be running his mouth, I probably would have never done anything with him. Because some stuff, like people don't understand. You don't know what I don't tell you. Like, you only know what I tell you. So if I tell you 20% of my life, right? Let's say I get online and I talk about stories like this. This is my little 20%, right? Then I got a whole big piece of the puzzle that you don't know because I don't tell you. So it's a big piece of my life that's missing online. But most people think, oh, she's telling all of her business, or she's telling too much of her business. You people have no idea how much stuff I don't say. It's so much stuff that I keep to myself that's way more important, that's way more private, that don't have nothing to do with this. I don't think I ever would have shared the story of me being inside of the swingers lifestyle had Chris Law not been walking around Atlanta spreading all of these rumors about me. Had he kept it kosher with me and cool and cordial, I never would have used him as a cautionary tale to warn women to not get inside of the swingers lifestyle. Had he not done that, I never would have had to make him as an example for women to say, you know what? Here's one of SONCERAE's truths, okay? Here's something that I did. I decided I wanted to be a mistress. I decided to be inside of the swingers lifestyle. I did this around 2009, 2010. I was going through my own pain and hurt, and this is the only thing I could figure out doing. This is the only thing I could, do around that time, and I was just trying to explore myself. And ladies, I feel like if you want to explore yourself, you got to do something healthier than what I did. That's how all of this stuff started off with Chris and me talking about him on my podcast and on my YouTube channel. Because for many years, he had been walking around, running his mouth, telling everybody about our experience. And every time I would run into anybody who knew who he was, they'd say something to me about him, and I'd be surprised they even know he and I know each other. Because I never felt comfortable with talking to anybody about Chris. Chris was like one of those people he was a secret. I just wouldn't tell anybody. No one knew who Chris Law was. None of my friends, none of my family, nothing. Because I had never said anything about him to anyone. You hear me? No one. I refused to talk about him. And the only time I would fix my lips to say anything about him is when somebody he knew that knew both of us would say something to me about him, and I would brush it off. I would try to excuse the conversation. I would try to say nothing. But as you can see, he just kept running his mouth. Yeah, Chris Law was married. But here's what I want to discuss more about. When I decided to be celibate after dealing with him, I was celibate for a long time. Because see, I think I got in a relationship with Ben. After that, my only polyamorous relationship was with Ben. And that relationship was included inside of that 2 years I spent inside of the swingers lifestyle. Because after I dealt with Chris, I dealt with Ben. And Ben used to go to the swingers club with me. And Ben was my only polyamorous partner. We only did threesomes and stuff with each other. You know, it wasn't like I went around and slept with a whole bunch of men. Me and Ben would sleep with women. So after my one threesome with Chris, Chris and I didn't, he wasn't in the threesome, but he brought 2 guys to me to have a threesome with. And I did this threesome with these 2 guys, and I hated that shit. It was terrible. I never did a threesome again. I never did it again because I didn't like it. So with Ben, me and Ben used to just sleep around with women. And this is only 2 years of my life. I'm 40. Only 2 years of my life I spent inside of the swingers lifestyle. So after that, I said, you know what? Celibacy is something that I want. I've been celibate before. It's nothing new to me. I'm going to be celibate. So I was celibate for a while. I was celibate for a long time after that. I tried to, like, break it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to be celibate. You know, to the degree of I wanted to avoid, like, celibacy altogether. I would do celibacy on a spiritual level to where I would do it temporarily until I cleared my, energy, and then ended up in a relationship again. And because I wasn't comfortable with being in a relationship, even when I would try to build one, I would end up with a guy who we'd start doing or taking steps to be inside of a relationship, but he would be doing things, I don't know, just stuff that would turn me off. It would either be domestic violence or have something to do with cheating. So I never fully got in a relationship with anyone. And I met Priest. Okay? And right before I met Priest, in 2017, I was dating this guy named Q. Q and I have been friends for 10 years. And after only dating and only being in a relationship for 2 months, Q and I decided we didn't want to be in a relationship. Because we had been friends for 10 years. So it was just like, we can't be in a relationship. It's better off just being friends with each other. Because this is not going to work. We could be friends with each other. Okay? And so we knew that because we knew each other. It was just like, it was something that we was trying. So yeah, we were in a relationship for about 2 months. I think we weren't really having like a lot of sex because we were working a lot. And so before I got into a relationship with Q, okay, and I got in a relationship with Q before I got in a relationship with my son's father, okay? This was before Priest. And let me tell you why, first of all, before I get into this, let me explain why I'm explaining this. The last podcast that I did, I was talking about Priest and Q. And I was talking about how I was breaking my celibacy. And inside of that video, once it was posted to YouTube, someone said, "You forgot Daddy-O. You're lying. You broke your celibacy with Daddy-O." Now, in the video, I was talking about men I had been in a relationship with. So, of course, I brought up Kumati and I brought up Priest. Okay? Because these were men that I was in a relationship with. Daddy-O and I were never in a relationship. Daddy-O This is why I'm gonna explain Daddy-O. We're gonna explain Daddy-O again because I haven't talked about Daddy-O in detail in a while. So I'm going to explain Daddy-O for those people who may be a little lost about Daddy-O. Because a lot of people, like I said in the beginning, misinformation is what spreads rumors. People don't have their facts straight. So you got one person telling something, another person telling something, and then you going around and you call SONCERAE a liar instead of you getting the full extent of a story. Know what you're speaking about. Okay? So me and Daddy-O was never in a relationship. Daddy-O and I we had sex like a handful of times. And this is someone that I met like months before I met, not met, but months before I started dating Kumati. Okay, I think I started dating Kumati maybe at the end of like 2016. And me and Daddy-O were dating like months before that. And it wasn't even like we were dating. What was happening with me and Daddy-O, because I don't think I've even been specific about this. Daddy-O and I were both going through something terrible, okay? And Daddy-O was like one of my closest friends. And in order to help both of us get over whatever it is that we were getting over, we leaned on each other. So we'd go on vacations together. We'd go, hang out together, get drinks together, sit down and laugh and talk out our problems with each other. He helped me a lot with my life. That's who Daddy-O was. And I helped him a lot with his life. And a lot of people have misinformation as far as he goes. Like they keep thinking that he and I was in a relationship, or they keep thinking, I don't know what people think. I don't know what it is about people who like to gossip, but they never spread the right information. I remember Priest said to me one time that I told him that Daddy-O was married. And I said, honey, I never told you that Daddy-O was married. I told you that Daddy-O decided to leave his wife, divorce his wife, and then he and I got together. As we're sitting here, we're ironing out our lives and our choices. He decided he wanted to remarry. That's what I told Priest. Okay? That's the situation between me and Daddy-O. So when Priest came to me and he said, you told me that Daddy-O was married. I said, I never told you that. So clearly you must have got that from somebody on YouTube gossiping. One of these trolls. Because when Priest started saying certain things to me at the end of our relationship, the things that he was saying was stuff that I would hear from trolls on the internet. So I knew he was talking to a group of people on the internet that he shouldn't have been talking to. Because these people were going to pump him full of lies regardless. Because like I said, a lot of people are misinformed. They don't listen. You got to listen to something over and over and over and over again before you get the gist of it to where you could talk about it like you know it about the back, like it's the back of your hand. You can't be walking around here classifying yourself an expert or something when you barely gathered any accurate information. And a lot of people that walk around and swear to God that they're a SONCERAE expert. They're walking around here with this SONCERAE information, but then they'll be spreading something that's false. They'll be spreading something that's not even true. So with Daddy-O, I spoke to, like I tell people all the time, when I get in these relationships with guys, I let them know off break what's going on with me. When I met Priest, I was very honest about him. I was very honest with him. I told him about Daddy-O. I told him that Daddy-O and I had slept together a couple of times, and we was more like friends. And we used to go to the beach together. We used to go on these exotic trips to resorts and stuff together. That's what Daddy-O and I used to do. And we would do this because we were hurting in our own personal lives. And it was something that we had to deal with as friends. It was something that we needed from each other, and we gave each other what we needed. All right? It wasn't a relationship. It was just us two trying to figure out what we wanted to do next. He was trying to help me with my life. I was trying to help him with his. And we ended up helping each other tremendously. And we fixed a big problem in both of our lives. Daddy-O is very important to me. And I will never forget him. I will never forget him. I will never take my friendship with him for granted because he did so much for me. And I love him to this day for that. So when I met Priest, I told Priest about Daddy-O. And I understand why a lot of people would think we were together. Because, I mean, he's been on my channel for a little bit. I think he did like one video. And I would talk about him a lot because he was like my closest friend. He was my dude. He was my person. But we never was in a committed relationship because we never got to that point. And it's a reason why we didn't get to that point. It is because both of us wanted something different than being together. And when you are genuinely friends with someone and you have a mature situation and you two respect each other, you can come to a mutual agreement with each other and don't have to necessarily hate each other if you decide not to be together. So all we really did was like date and hang out and talk and iron each other's shit out. That's basically all we did. And so I told Priest about this. I also told Priest about Minister Jack, who was online causing so many problems. I told him about Chris Law, who was online running his mouth, and he had been running his mouth in Atlanta. And, you know, the truth about Chris, I told him about that. So my thing is, I don't lie about who I am because I feel like if I lie, I can't help somebody. So when people go around and they try to say, well, SONCERAE is lying about her situation simply because they are misinformed and aren't paying attention to what's being said. Or I also myself, and I've said this, I've also myself feel like that I should take accountability for maybe misspeaking inside of a video or not communicating effectively like I should have so people can have a better understanding. I take accountability for that because sometimes I feel like when people come to me for with misinformation, maybe they just don't understand. It is okay if you don't understand, but ask me so I can clarify it for you. So when people sit around and they talk about, oh, SONCERAE has this long history of dating married men and bums, I'm like, if you only knew who I was and how much stuff I don't put up with, you would never say that. No man in the history of men outside of Chris Law, who is married, can say SONCERAE fucked with me. Because that's not how I rock. Priest is going around saying this because he's a liar. Priest should get sued for that. People always come to me and say, SONCERAE, are you planning on suing Priest for going around calling you a mistress? For going around calling you a side chick that he ain't care about? Well, all of us know that y'all two was in like this very loving relationship and his wife, Sidonia, was estranged. She was out somewhere living her life and them two wasn't even together. Are you going to sue him for going around saying this stuff? And I said, you know what? I could sue Priest for it. Because I got way too much proof that we was in a solid relationship. Not that I was just this mistress that goes around and sleeps with people's husbands. People do not confuse Chris Law with Priest. Chris and Priest are two very different things. Chris was something I did 10 years ago. Priest and I had a solid relationship and was building a life together. He's not some married man where I was sitting here and I was being his mistress. That's not how that went at all. So, of course, it would be easy for me to sue him, right? And win. Because inside of the court of law, there's a difference between being legally married, being separated, being estranged from each other. And the courts know me and Priest's situation because I told them. I gave them proof. I had to. When I filed for child support, I had to give them proof of everything that I was saying. I had to give them proof that he abandoned me in a hotel. I had to give him proof that him and Sidonia wasn't together and they were separated. I had to give them proof of everything that I was saying, or I wouldn't have been rewarded what I was. There's a reason why I was rewarded child support. Not just the fact that I had took a paternity test. I literally had to provide screenshots of text messages. I had to send them pictures. I had to send them real, solid, accurate proof. Because when you're dealing with the court system, you got to have attorneys, paperwork, all types of stuff. And I'm telling you, sitting down doing child support, filling out child support, it took hours and hours of me just to, like, one time I literally sat down with my attorney and a child support person for 8 hours just to sit down and talk about my situation with Priest. So could I file a lawsuit against Priest? Hell yeah. For making all of these defamatory statements. But to me, the nigga broke. So it's a waste of time to sit up here and put all my money into a legal team to get zero from this nigga. Because even with child support, he can barely pay that. He told them that he was unemployed. And when justice get to, I can raise the child support. So when justice gets to wherever priests work at, they're going to factor in how much money he makes again, and I'm probably going to end up with more child support. Now, not a lot more, because of course I make more money than him. But this situation between Priest and my son, and all these people saying all this negative stuff about me, it's something that is unavoidable. If I never got onto YouTube and never told my story at all, but people knew who I was, there were still going to be people around here who would make up a rumor about me. It happens. When someone is a popular person, whether I decided to share my personal stories or not, whether a popular person decides to share their personal stories or not, someone is still going to spread rumors and gossip about them. Because it's just low energy people in this world. It's something that none of us can avoid. It's going to be people out there that's going to spread misinformation. It's going to be people out there that lie about you. It's going to be people out there that tell people you a prostitute when you wasn't. It's going to be people out there who's going to tell people that you lied about celibacy when you didn't. It's going to be people out there who aren't stand-up people that dealt with you and fucked you over, but they're not good people to begin with. So when they tell the story about you, they don't necessarily tell the truth about your interaction with each other. Just like my son's father. He's not a good person, so he's not going to tell you the truth about our interaction with each other. The only time you're going to hear the truth about two people interacting with each other is if you're dealing with a stand-up person or stand-up people. If me and Daddy-O was to sit down and do a podcast right now, our stories would run parallel. If me and my daughter's father decide to sit down and do a podcast, our stories will run parallel. Anyone who was inside of my life and knows me and is a stand-up person will tell you the truth about who I am. But no person that was in my life that was fucked up from the beginning, like the Chris Laws and the Minister Japs and the priests, they were fucked up people to begin with. So when the situation happened the way that it did, of course they're not going to publicly speak about me and tell you the truth. They're going to do what they can to make themselves look better. Because they were bad people from the beginning. They had bad intentions for me from the beginning. They were never people I was supposed to choose to be with or be around to begin with. So I don't expect for Chris Law to fix his lips to tell the truth about us. I expect him to lie because that's who he is. I don't expect for Priest to go around telling the truth about our situation because he was a liar from the beginning. He lied about his situation with his estranged wife. He lied about how he felt. He lied about wanting to be married. He lied about so many things. So why would suddenly he decide to tell the truth? He's not. And the funny thing is, he's openly said he lied to me. Right? Now, after a person say, you know what? I did lie to her. After Priest has already said on the internet, you know, I did lie to her. He done did videos and interviews and with the wrong people, I swear, and say that he's a liar, right? So it doesn't occur to anybody that he could be lying to you about something else. My thing is, I'm not going to lie to anyone because I feel like if I lie, I can't help anybody. I can't help anybody. If you notice, I seldom do an interview. I don't do interviews. Okay. I did one interview with this girl named Nicole. And I try not to do more of them. I don't need to do interviews about Priest and Sidonia. Like how Priest and Sidonia have walked around and did interviews for me. I don't have to do that. I just do me. I just say what I say on my own platform. I don't need anybody else to assist me when I'm telling the truths about my life. But you have to start giving people the side eye who decide to use the platforms of people who only have something negative to say or who only have disdain for me. See, here's the thing. Here's what would make sense. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to clear your name. Maybe SONCERAE said something negative about you, right? And you just want to clear your name as a person. What you would do is find a neutral platform, a legitimate platform, to where a person is neutral, so that you'll be able to come off with no negative, like no one could possibly think that you're doing this to be vengeful or vindictive or something like that. What you're not going to do, what you're not going to do is get on an interview and do an interview with a person who purposely is malicious towards a specific gender of person, who's biased. You understand? Like, you want to clear your name. You want to say, you know what, SONCERAE said something negative about me that's inaccurate. It's not true. She's just making this up because blah, 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 right? That's where you stand with what you're saying. And you're genuine with it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to a neutral party, not someone who doesn't like SONCERAE. If you notice, Priest and Sidonia, when they would sit around and they would do all these interviews and lie about me, what they would do is go to these platforms of people who obviously had a disdain for me. They would go to these people who classified themselves as my enemy and do interviews with them, instead of finding a legitimate, like, news source or a person who would be neutral and give you a solid interview. You could be heard out and taken serious. But when you get on platforms like Bomb Cherry, who is not even I can see if she was a news reporter, but she's just some messy troll. Or Tommy Sotomayor, who clearly has disdain for Black women and single mothers. Why would you get on these platforms and talk about SONCERAE? You know why? Because what you're saying isn't necessarily the truth anyway. So you can never go to a solid source. A solid source that deserved to interview me was the people in the courtroom, the lawyers, the attorneys. Those were solid people. So those are the people I interviewed with. The court system, my attorneys, judges. Those are solid people. So if you wanted to prove something about SONCERAE, you have to prove it with legitimate people, not people like trolls on the internet or, a person who does negative commentary about Black people. That doesn't make any sense. So you have to look at the motives of people, and it has to make sense. Like, intellectually think about this. Does that make any sense? Not so much. Consider the motive behind why people say the things they say about people. Look at how they handle things. I've always been very honest about my stories. And the reason why is because I want to help out other women so they never experience what I have. And like I say all of the time, I cannot help somebody being dishonest. I have to tell the truth. Okay? So Daddy and I was never in a relationship. We just had a really, really good friendship with each other. And we was considering being in a relationship, but we didn't. Because we wanted something else for our lives. Right after him, a couple of months, I think it had to be 5 or 6 months later, I started dating Qmati. And Qmati and I ended up in a relationship. After being in a relationship, We decided that we was better off friends because before we got in our relationship, we had been friends for 10 years. So we decided that being in a relationship was not a good idea for us. A month or two after I a month or two after I dated Q, I started dating Priest. And it took Priest and I a little while to be inside of a relationship as well. It took us a second to have sex. We went out, we had dates, it wasn't like I was a one night stand and he jumped me off and I was just his mistress that he didn't care about. No. We were building a life together. All right. We talked about marriage. We talked about kids. We were building a life together. We started my clothing line, Yaora, together. A lot of my Yaora designs initially were Priest ideas. It's still shirts on my Yaora website that people can buy, and they was Priest idea. Excuse me. We started Yaora together as another source of income. So there was a lot of positives inside of Priest and our relationship. And he's not very honest about that. I was very good to Priest inside of my relationship. I did nothing to this man. I did not lie to this man. I did not cheat on this man. I didn't do anything to deserve what happened between me and my son's father. He did this because he had bad intentions from the beginning. And you have to understand that. You have to understand that. And the second you understand that, you'll start side-eyeing everything that he says. Now, my thing for everybody is when you hear me speak, and if you're confused about something, don't call me a liar. If you hear something and you think that there's a possibility that something's not right, maybe it don't sound right to you, please understand that it don't sound right to you. And that's your perspective. And maybe you're missing some information. So ask me or listen to more content. Because it could be that you didn't listen to enough content, or it could be that, you know what, I done made a video out somewhere or some type of podcast out somewhere to clear up something that I may have misspoke. So get your facts straight first. That way, it would be easier for you to stop saying, oh, SONCERAE lied. No, you're just misinformed. Because I'm not going to lie about this story. And no matter how many times proof has been posted, people still going around calling me a liar because that's what they want to call me. It has nothing to do with the fact that that's me. That's not me. I'm not walking around here lying about my life experience. I don't have to. This is not all super glamorous and shit. I ain't got Queen Naja's story over here to where I was married and my husband cheated on me and I turned around and made a song called Medicine and now suddenly I'm this Grammy nominated ass singer. No, that's not my story. If my story was as glamorous as Queen Naja, I can see how y'all could be like, oh, she lied. No. My story is a bad story. My story is horrible. This is a story of something that's unfortunate and didn't even have to happen. But it happened because somebody was selfishly walking around this planet thinking it was okay to mistreat women. Another woman walking around here misleading another woman, making her feel like it's okay for her to be in a relationship with somebody that she supposedly separated from. This was me trusting Priest and Sidonia when I shouldn't have. And I don't want women to trust this. I don't want women to put themselves in this type of situation. That's all. So no, I wasn't Priest's mistress. I never was. And it's hurtful that he walks around and says that. That's why he says it. Because he's hurt about the situation. And he wants to break fly and pretend like he doesn't feel anything when we all know that he does. Anyone in their right mind would know that he feels some type of way. Because you can't tell me that all of this stuff didn't spark some type of emotion out of him. You dealing with a divorce. You dealing with a breakup with a completely different woman who has a child with you. As a man, you gotta feel something, whether it's frustration, anger, sadness, grief, disappointment in yourself, a number of things. So you can't judge people by the way that they respond to some shit that they experience. Because a lot of time they don't know how to even respond to what they're experiencing because they've never been through it. It's hard to deal with. So I try not to be judgmental towards Priestess Adonia. I really try. It's difficult because I don't want to misjudge them, but I felt like they did something so terrible to me and my son. So it's very difficult for me to deal with. I'm never going to be in a position to where I absolutely give a fuck about what trolls or what people are saying about me because, again, the internet is not real. It's a virtual reality. So whatever it is people are saying about me online, I could give two fucks about. Right? I don't care about those rumors. This is not an emotional conversation I'm having. It's a logical podcast. What I'm saying is, to me, no one on the internet can have accurate information to where you can make sound judgment about a person. You might be able to get the gist of someone, but you'll never have enough information about a situation because there will be people out there bending the truth, lying, trying to mislead and manipulate you so they can gain favor. There is such thing as propaganda. There is such thing as gaslighting. There is such thing as smear campaigning. And this is what people will do, especially when it's somebody like me. Some people don't want you to win. So of course they're going to say certain things about you. But you will never be able to understand people's reality if you ain't never been in it. So when people speak about somebody else's reality, when someone online speaks about something online, about something that happened in somebody's real life, take that shit for face value. Because you never know how misinformed they are. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people claim that I lie. I don't lie. I just don't do it. I just don't do it. I teach my kids not to do it. I don't do it. I don't think that it's cool. I don't like it. And one thing that priests cannot be honest about is that I never lied to him. He never caught me in a lie. Not ever. He never caught me in a lie. He got on the internet, somebody said something to him, and then suddenly he's saying things to me that people on the internet told him. He bringing shit from the internet into our real life. And you know why he did that? Because from the beginning, he had been lying in our real life. He's lying in our real life, lying online. That's just who he is. I'm not that person. So there's stories out there that could be embarrassing to some people that they would never tell. But I told it. Not because I'm sitting here trying to tell my business, but because I want to help somebody else who could possibly be in the same situation so they can make a different decision. Especially women. Because we be walking around here making poor decisions in men all the time. Women be getting in sexual assaults and getting in domestic violence relationships and shit. Because they don't have enough self-esteem and enough self-love. There's not enough people out there that's caring about them, that's telling them what they're worth and how powerful and strong they are. There's nobody saying that but me. So they hear the sound of my voice and they learn something from me. They decide not to do what I did. They decide to not be so nice or give the benefit of the doubt. They decide not to choose poorly. Because I said it before. When I decided to be Chris Law's mistress, I wish I would have dealt with my feelings from my previous relationships better than that. But I didn't know what else to fucking do. Because anybody I came to for advice couldn't help me. I didn't know what to do. So that's all I could do. I was in no position to do anything other than be Chris Law's mistress at that time. But what do I tell women? I tell women, Don't be that. Don't do that. Don't do that, because regardless of how much you trust a man like Chris, no matter how much you sit here and think he's your friend and he care about you, he going behind your back calling you a hoe. No matter how much you sit there and not place judgment on him, he going to turn around and call you a hoe. Men do it all the time. You know how women sit here and we'll deal with men. We don't care what kind of person they are. We'll be unconditional for them. They don't do that for us. And they look at us and call us stupid because we don't do it. We choose to stick with them even though they doing a whole bunch of fuck shit. But we'll never get away with doing their fuck shit. And I keep trying to tell women this. That's not how men operate. Men could go around here and fuck every woman within a 50-mile radius of their house. And as nasty as women think that is, they'll still fuck with a man anyway, knowing that he did that. But a man, if a woman has sex with a married man 10 years ago, and he with her 10 years later, he gonna still judge her like he ain't had sex with prostitutes in the Dominican Republic months before they ended up in a relationship. Priest had the nerve to judge me about an affair I had 10 years before I even met him, when his ass was just in the Dominican Republic having sex with prostitutes months before I met him, which is nasty, which is terrible. But I was supposed to just accept that. Meanwhile, he couldn't even give me that same satisfaction. He couldn't misjudge me. He could misjudge me. He could misjudge me. He could place judgment on me like it was nothing. Because that's what they do. So ladies, stop it with the loving men unconditionally. Stop it. Stop it with the giving them the benefit of the doubt, giving them all these fucking chances. Stop it. Because they're not doing that for us. They're smart enough not to do that. I appreciate y'all listening to me. All right. I did say in my last podcast that we're trying to get Justice a new stroller, a new bed, a new car seat, some new clothes. We got a lot of stuff we're trying to do. So if you want to donate to him or donate to his trust fund, you can. It's $ Little Justice. I appreciate that. If you don't want to donate and you just want something in return, you can purchase something on y'all order. Of course, that's my clothing line that promotes positivity. I appreciate y'all doing that. If you're ever out here wondering what I'm doing, I'm out here capturing that good energy, baby. Okay?
The next audio clip and photo that is coming up is very important. They both display the level of desperation that SONCERAE is willing to go to get attention on YouTube. In the audio clip, she expressed how proud she was to have the photo displayed to be used as an example for all women on how to show personal confidence and courage. Like SONCERAE, I am also using the photo for educational purposes. For all women, let Ray's example serve as a cautionary tale on how sad it looks to literally show your ass to display personal confidence and courage. Now it's time to look at your screen on full view. This photo is for adults and mature audience only, and not safe for work.
Hey everybody, I want to talk about those pictures that I posted when I uploaded the video of Chris Law and Minister Jack talking about me, and everyone saw this picture of me with my ass out. Okay, they were like, what the hell? They were like, SONCERAE, do you realize you're supposed to be a role model for young black women? Why would you show your bare body like that? Put your fucking clothes on. Well, friends, there's a reason why I used that picture as the thumbnail for those videos. Because inside of those videos, there were a few guys that were interested in me sexually, and one of them actually was intimate with me for a very, very long time. And, you know, inside of those videos, he kind of made himself look really, really stupid. saying that I was a hoe and that he had unprotected sex with me for months. And so my thing is, you know, these men downplay the relationships that they've had with me or their feelings towards me to save face on YouTube. And so when I uploaded these videos and I put those videos onto my channel and showed people what these guys were saying about me, I did this as a message to everyone to understand that I don't care what these people are saying about me. I know me so well and I'm so confident in myself. And people think because I posted a picture of me naked, that must mean I'm the insecure woman. I posted a video about insecure women and how Black men prey on insecure women. Not saying that women that walk around half naked are all insecure. I had another girl say, my dad would kill me if he saw pictures of me like that. And I'm sure he would. That's why you should be happy that you have one. You know what I mean? I've spent most of my life without one. You know, so I don't have a father to, you know, impress or make happy or to live up to some kind of like standard he would want me to live in as a woman. And so I've spent all of this time for 36 years living my life trying to please other people and their standards of what living is. I encourage everyone, even women who are promiscuous or women who go out here, show their body, show their ass. I just want women to know that there are consequences that come with that. You're going to have men who think you are prey. And 9 times out of 10, you are prey. You know what I mean? Because you're walking around here showing your body for reasons that are not relative to mine. See, I'll show my body in an artistic way to try to be funny because people go around here and they tell me I'm fat and I'm not sexy and I'm this and I'm that. So I showed you my bare ass and told you to kiss it. Kiss it, kiss it. Kiss it, kiss it. I'm so beautiful and I'm so confident in myself. And you know what? A man can't prey on me anymore. See, they used to. They used to. You know, because I didn't know the game. I didn't know any better. But now it's like I have a level of respect for myself and a level of confidence for myself that it does not matter what everybody else thinks. And I encourage everyone to live their life the way they want to live it, as long as it makes them happy and as long as it isn't hurting anyone else. See, I'm not hurting anybody else putting my bare ass out. And people are like, what about your daughter? What about your daughter? What if your daughter sees this? You know what's funny? When I posted the videos and I had the thumbnails on the video, the first person who saw it, because you know she gets the alerts, she's like, Mom, why? And it was funny. And I was like, girl, shut up. She was like, I'm just being melodramatic. I know how you are. Watch the videos of my daughter talk about how she feels about me and my life and the sexy things I do and me being bisexual. My daughter just wants me to be happy. My daughter is never going to judge me. You know what I mean? Because I taught her. So I taught her how to live her life the way she wants to live it and to not judge other people for the way that they want to live theirs. And that's the message I always try to preach to everyone. Be yourself, be comfortable with being yourself, but also remember that there are going to be other people out there being themselves. And as long as they ain't in your way, you shouldn't have a problem with that. If they pick a religion different from yours, you shouldn't have a problem with that. As long as they ain't blowing or shooting up your church, as long as they ain't stealing your watchtower pamphlets, as long as they don't walk up in your house and kick your fat Buddha over, then you should be cool with them. Okay? Let everybody live their life how they want to live their life. And that's for the young girls that love me, watch me, the older women that love me, watch me, hell, the women my age that love me and watch me. And the new women that's going to come to this channel and love me and watch me. My message to you, sweetheart, is if you're going to show your body, okay, if you're going to show your bare ass like I did, don't do it to get some attention, okay? Don't be starved for attention. Don't think that because you show your body that that's going to make you valuable to these nasty-ass perverted men. Show your body because your body's beautiful to you, and that's how you want to walk around, and that's what you want to do with your body. You understand what I'm saying? Now, at the same token, don't be surprised at the backlash, and don't be hurt about it, because you're doing you for you, okay? And if it's hurting you too much, what other people think about you, then, hey, do cartwheels for them. Whatever you do, just do you. My thing is, you can't stand on your head enough for other people. Because once you do one thing for them, they're going to ask you to do something else. And then they're going to ask you to do something else. And then when you're not doing what they want you to do, they're going to call you selfish. Remember that. So you do what's best for you, because you are worth nothing to anybody if you're not 100% yourself. Be 100% inside yourself. Be 100% with your damn self. And then go out into this world and live life and be happy and try to influence other people to live life and be happy as well. If that's not what you're doing with your life, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. You need to crawl back into the womb. If you aren't trying to help people with their success, if you're not trying to help other people, encourage them to be happy with their own lives and be themselves, I don't know what you're doing with your life. If you're not out here trying to live your life and make your life 100% better, and you're trying to prosper, and then you're trying to help other people prosper, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. I'm seeing people on YouTube make all these negative videos about people, all these negative comments on Facebook, all this horrible stuff, and people just putting each other down. What are you doing with your life? Huh? Other than that, not a damn thing. So hear me when I tell you, girls and fellas, do what makes you happy. You only be on this planet one time. And it's so easy to live an amazing life. It's absolutely spirit draining to try to fuck up somebody else's. Have vision and stay focused, guys. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sugarfoot Love. We are down here at the SONCERAE OnlyFans facility. And hear me when I tell you, everything must go. SONCERAE has been all over the place in prices for the last few weeks. You heard Ray ask for $5.99, $10.99, $15.99, $19.99, and the infamous $5.05. But today it's liquidation time and everything must go. We talking about Photoshop pics with Ray's head on another body. We talking about half-ass Photoshop pics with missing arms. We talking about audio clips of her breathing hard like a fat woman. And yes, I said breathing with a V. Everything must go, people. I'm not playing. Her ugly dog got to go. That nasty attitude got to go. Her lying-ass ways got to go. And let's not forget, that funky-ass black cardigan sweater, baby, it's got to go. So come on down to SONCERAE's OnlyFans facility this weekend for this once-in-a-lifetime liquidation sale. And make sure you tell them that Sugarfoot Love, the half-brother of Reverend Lonnie Love, sent you down there. I wish you peace and hair grease. And watch out now. This short music video serves as an introduction to my upcoming series, Storytimes with Ebony Man 2K. It gives you a glimpse of the type of people, places, and things I have experienced early on in my young adult life. My subscribers have asked me to share my experiences dating in Atlanta, my time spent in Rio de Janeiro during Carnival, freak dick stories, and other general social stories in my life. Some of the photos in this video captured those experiences. The time frame of these photos are from the mid-90s to the early 2000s. Again, this video serves as a prelude to my story times and adds proper context of people, space, and time. This is Ebony Man 2K. Let's get it. This is Ebony Man 2K. I need for you to put your screen on full view. I need for you to put your screen on full view. The title of this song for this music video is called When We Were Young by Adele. And the cover is being performed by Mackenzie Johnson. Please check out our channel and join. Thank you.
Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home, you're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're here Can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears, 'cause nobody told me that you'd be here. And I swore you'd overseas, 'cause that's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie, you still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. When we were young, when we were young, when we were young, when we were young. It's hard to win me back. Everything just takes me back to when you were there, to when you were there. And a part of me keeps holding on, just in case it hasn't gone. I guess I still care. Do you still care? It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. When we were young, when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. Oh, I'm so mad I'm getting old. It makes me reckless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song when we were young.
This is Everyday Man 2K, aka that Jolly Rancher, aka Pretty Ricky, what they call me, and aka that dude who be having the receipts. Before we begin, the membership program for my channel has been approved by YouTube and has been added with PayPal and Cash App as another option to express your support for me and this channel. I ask that you go ahead and join today and make yourself an official Day 1 member of Ebony Man 2K. There is a join button on the homepage and links in the description box and at the top of my comments section. You will get an official members only badge, and I will be adding exclusives from time to time for you to access as a members only participant. Now, the price that I set is reasonable, and it's less than a 2-piece dinner from Popeyes, especially if you get the strawberry drink. So, go ahead and join, get your badge, and make them haters start crying like a baby. You know how they do. Wah, 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 wah. Why you like Ebony Man? Wah, wah, wah. We don't want you to like Ebony Man. Wah, wah, wah. And you take that badge and say, look, I rock with Ebony Man 2K the long way. Because not only is he funny to me, but that brother is thorough and he be on point with his presentations, especially with his receipts. So you either get with the program or you get to stepping and go kick a can down the street, because that would be a better use of your time than you trying to convince me to go against Ebony Man 2K. I got Ebony Man 2K's back 100%. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the main purpose of membership. It is to bear witness to the public that we are going to enjoy ourselves on this channel, and we got each other's back 100%. Okay, let's get it, y'all. This is Ebony Man 2K. We're about to go into our chat and music session. But first, if you would like to donate via Cash App, the Cash App ID is $EBMN2K. That's $EBMN2K. If you'd like to make a donation via PayPal, send it to paypal.me/EBMNTWOK. That's paypal.me/EBMNTWOK. And if you'd like to send it via Venmo, send it to @EBMN2K. That's @EBMN2K. Thanks. And one more thing. The Super Chat is on in the chat room, and it serves as another means of donating and expressing yourself. The Super Chat button is located under the chat window. Thanks.